Well, hi everybody, this is DearMamaSal, and the word of today would be impact. That is so cruel. I am 30 minutes away from breaking the fast that I'm on, and they bought me this little cookie. Hi everybody, this is DearMamaSal, and I'm just driving away from having had a really great dinner with Benji. And I just wanted to let you know about something that happened, because you never know. Let me try and give you some backstory here. I went to a restaurant that I probably come to a couple of times a year. And, you know, when you think how many people go to a restaurant, especially a good one, you will understand this was a pretty impressive thing that happened. I sat down and I was busy talking, and the server came and she looked at me and she said, "How nice to see you back again. It's been too long." And I sort of smiled, because what I thought was, obviously it's a line that they use. And then she said, "How is your friend? The one that laughed so much with you," which is Marnie. And then I realized she really did mean that it was nice to see me again, and she knew exactly who I was. And then she immediately went on to talk about another server from that particular restaurant called John that I had met. And then I'm going, wow, this is pretty impressive. I haven't been there for 6 months or something, and she knew exactly who I was. Anyway, the interesting part of it was that she said there was history to her meeting me that first time. What I didn't know was that John, the server that I used to have, had seen that I was coming in that evening, and he wasn't on the evening shift. So what he said was, "Look, you see this lady here? she's just an awesome lady. You need to look after her for me." And so I said, "Are you serious?" And she said, "Yeah." He said, look after this one. And he even pulled out your card to show me. And I went, wow, that's pretty impressive. Anyway, so that's apparently how she got to be aware of me. But let me tell you something else. Those of you who know, if you saw the video when I was coming in, I was about to finish a 19-hour fast, which is quite a few hours, as you know. And when I went to sit down to wait for Benji to arrive, I didn't want to go into the restaurant, so I was in the lobby. And they have tables in their lobby, so I sat down, and the receptionist lady said to me, can I bring you anything? And I said, sure. I would actually love some hot water, because I brought a tea bag with me. And then I delved into my purse, and to my horror, I didn't bring the tea bag with me. And she could see the look on my face, and she said, "What sort of tea was it?" I said, "Licorice." And she said, "Would ginger licorice work for you?" And I said, "You bet." And the next thing I know, she disappeared, and she came back, with some hot water and a tea bag of ginger licorice tea. And she said, "I'm sorry, it looks a bit crumpled, but I have to get it out of my purse." I said, "Wait a minute, you bought me your own personal tea bag?" And she said, "Yes." I went, wow, how kind of you, thank you. And then not only that, but she also bought me a pastry. Because apparently there was a pastry tray going out to the wedding. And she said, the chef said to let you have one. So, you know, the thing is this, people, why? Now, I know that some of you are going, I'm not surprised at all. But again, think about it. Why? Why were these people so kind? Is it just because I'm a grey hair? I don't think so. What I said to Luba, that was the server, I said, I cannot believe that you remembered me after all this time when you have so many clients coming in. She said, not many like you. How could anybody forget you? And I went, okay. So what I wanted to say is that what does it take to have impact? Think about that. I make a point when I go to a restaurant, I don't care if they're wearing a tag or not, I make a point of asking for my server's name. Why? I believe that everybody likes to be called by their name. Now, Luba isn't what I call a very obvious name, and therefore you understand I have to say to her it's a very unusual name, therefore I will probably need to ask it many times. Is that okay with you? That was the first time I met her. When I realized she knew who I was, I said, you know, I can't remember your name. And she said, no, of course not. You couldn't last time either. And I went, oh, that's so good, thank you. So she told me, and I went, yeah, that's why I can't remember. Okay, got it. And so that's one thing. People remember that you cared enough to want to know their name. And then the other thing is that they care that you treat them like a human being. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's really nice to hear a little bit of their story. You know, just because they happen to be serving on you doesn't make them less than. It just means that's the job that they've got. And so I like to hear about Luba and her husband and the 3 children. And, you know, if I'm really honest, what I will probably do, knowing me, is I will go home and write down her name again, and the name of the restaurant, and the fact, of course, that she has a husband, 3 children, and that John, my original server, that made a big impact on me and vice versa, is now in Australia. And I said, are you still in touch with him? And she said, yes. I said, send him a hug from me. And, you know, do you think that's going to make John's day as well? And so, you know, you look at it, as little things mean a lot to people. And boy, we need more of that in the world today. It's not about how much money you've got and whatever. It's like, do you care? And it was so funny because I went to leave and I shook hands with the one guy that had, you know, been very polite to me. And then I saw Luba and I just went up and gave her a hug. And she just burst out laughing. She wasn't surprised at all. Unfortunately, the lady that had given me the tea wasn't there, but I will write a very special note to the restaurant to make sure that she gets a special thank you for what she did to make me feel so welcome. And that's another thing I do, and I've always done that, which is I always like to reward good behavior if I go to anything, whether it's a restaurant or, you know, any business or anything. If I find people go above and beyond to help me, and I don't mean, you know, yuck type stuff. I mean genuinely obviously from their soul. I will make a point of writing to the owners or, you know, the managing director or as high up the tree as I can to say, I just want to let you know what this person did and how much I thank you for employing this person, because it made my day. And I will be doing that again. And that's why I keep going back to the restaurant. And it may only be once every 6 months, but I got news for you. They may remember me, but I sure remember them too. It's a two-way trade. It certainly made my day. So have impact, people. Have impact if you possibly can. Make a difference in somebody else's life. Give them reason to smile, and you will end up smiling yourself as I am right now. This is Dear Mama Sal saying thank you for listening. Look after one another, but most of all, remember to look after yourself. Bye-bye for now.